Watch ya. Me turn on the live. I'm busy doing something else. I don't remember, so me turn on the live. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Me know you been waiting for me now, Sister Winsome and Sister Card. Me know you been waiting for me. Good morning. How y'all doing? Hope everybody's having a good morning so far. Well, this morning we're gonna do what we do. All right. We are going to continue with the reading of the Bible. I sincerely appreciate you all guys for coming. Welcome into the morning live, everybody. It is Thursday, the 11th day of April of 2024. And this morning we are gathered here to continue with the reading of the Bible. And I am reading from the King James Version. Now, for those of you who have been here, who have been following the reading, you all know by now why we are doing this. For those of you who are new though, who are just discovering the channel or just starting to join the live, let me preface with this. Now, I do not endorse any particular religion or denomination. I have decided that because the Bible was presented to me as not just my moral guide, but also the guide which I should use to continue to guide my children and for them to guide their children as it has been generationally used for hundreds of years. I have decided that, well, I need to read the Bible for myself. I need to read it from beginning to end so that I have an understanding of what is really in it. Because so far we have discovered that there are words that have been twisted, there are words that have been omitted whenever the Bible is quoted. And just by the omission of a word or the addition of a word, it does construe the meaning of what was being said. So I implore everybody who is listening this morning to read the Bible for yourself. Get acquainted with what is written in there. If you are somebody who intends to use the Bible for any particular reason, you want to use it for yourself, for your own moral stability, you want to use it to convict or convert somebody, you need to read it for yourself. A lot of people do not like to have to read it. They just go by what they were told. And some people are so convicted in their beliefs that they will destroy anybody who does not believe what they believe. And I have found this to be quite bothersome because even if it's not about the Bible, I find it to be quite bothersome when people get so up in arms about someone not agreeing with something that they believe and something that they can't even prove to be real. They can't even prove to be true. It's just a belief, but they will be willing to destroy somebody else only because that person does not believe what they believe. That we gotta cut out. But everybody is responsible for their own soul. There we go. So this morning, guys, You are invited, like every other morning, to get your book Bible or your Google Bible, whichever one you have at hand, and let us read together. This morning we are reading from the book of Saint Mark. I keep saying Matthew. I We are going to be reading from the book of Saint Mark, chapters 6 and 7. So get your Bible, and let us read together. And let me remind you too that this is not an ordinary like Bible reading. Yeah, I am not here with any agenda to convert anybody. I am not here with any agenda to condemn anybody. I am not here with any agenda at all except to read the Bible for myself, and I'm sharing it out loud. So when I don't understand something, you're going to hear it. When I fumble, when I am concerned, when I have doubts, yeah, whatever it is, just as though I was reading it by myself in the comfort of my own home without an audience, you are going to hear it just the same way. So it's not, so please don't misconstrue what you hear here to be that I am teaching you the Bible and I don't know what I'm teaching. I'm not here to teach you anything. Okay? If you learn something, you will learn what is in the Bible. But if you hear me mess up on what I am reading, that's that's me exposing my vulnerability. Okay? So guys, without further ado, without me talking too much, let's get into it. We are on to the book of Saint Mark, chapters 6 and 7. And yesterday, as we were reading, somebody says, "What happened to TT? Who named so?" Somebody's asking what happened to TT. I'm not sure. But I see Debbie Debs, I see Jean P. Is that Jean Pierre, Jean Paul? I see a lot of music. Lot of music. I like that. A lot of music. Pleasure and pain. I tell you, the people on the internet give themselves some name. It's unbelievable. Bernie, Tesfa. I'm waiting for you to tell me. Oh, now me get you. Now me get you. Slow is as slow does. All right, Stevita and the others. So welcome into the morning live, guys. Follow along with me with your book Bible or your Google Bible, whichever one you have, and let us read together as try to conquer this quest. Oh, as I try to conquer this quest of mine of reading. Love you, baby. Of reading the Bible from the beginning to the end. You think it's all your head you're gonna shake? You're gonna be shaking more than your head. But anyway, if that's what you got now, go on. Shake it, baby, shake it. So guys, read along with me. I said I was going to recap before I was spectacularly interrupted by my dear sister dearest right there. All right. So I was saying that in yesterday's reading, we saw we saw where Jesus, after having come out of the boat, because he had gone into the boat, gone out onto the water so that he could escape he could escape the multitude of people who were just crowding on him. They were all over him, and he wanted a little bit of space. So he got in the boat and he got out on the water with his disciples. Then, after the disciples were able to send the crowd away, he came back to shore. And when he came back to shore, he went up into the mountain. He encountered a man who had been chained. He had been chained in the graveyard. He was there like a maniac, using stones to cut himself, just a raging lunatic. He was there. And long story short, eventually, Jesus cast out the demons out of him. And on that same hillside, there were 2,000 pigs that were feeding on the hillside. And out of this man, Jesus cast out the demons and sent the demons into the pigs. Now, one thing that I discovered yesterday, that it was the man who asked Jesus. It was the man who asked Jesus for his intervention. And Jesus casted out the pigs and sent them into the sea. I remember yesterday people were sick. That's why people don't eat pigs or shouldn't eat pigs. I've never eaten it, so I don't know. I couldn't tell you why you should or why you shouldn't. I know that when Moses was distributing all those laws and precepts to the Jewish people, he had included the avoidance of the pig meat. Some people say they don't eat pork, but they eat ham. Or they eat bacon. Whatever you do, to be honest with you, based on what I have read in the Bible, I don't think if you eat the pig, if there is such a thing as, you being taken up into this proverbial heaven after you die, I don't think that eating the pig is going to stop you. But that is just my thoughts based on what I have been reading in the Bible. All these laws and precepts and stuff that Moses was giving to the people, Moses had claimed they were given to him by God to give to the people. And I find a lot of these precepts to have been flawed. Moses was quite desperate to lead the people. He was quite desperate to make the people feel as though they were definitely different from the others around them. And so he would go to any length to ensure that he was the one who was orchestrating and establishing this religious civilization for the Jewish people. So much so that Moses wanted nobody else's intervention. He wanted nobody else's contribution. Moses wanted to give the law. He wanted to stand there and judge the people on whether or not they followed these laws. He wanted to do this by himself. So much so that he was burnt out. Moses refused to educate some people among him and get those people to help him to teach the people. It wasn't until his father-in-law got fed up and said to him, listen to me, man, you cannot do this. There is no way for you to sustain yourself doing this. If you have to stand up every day before these thousands and thousands of people and have them coming to you to ask you if it is right for them to do this, if it is right for them to do that, what does God think about them doing this? What does God think? What will be their punishment if they did? You alone standing there, issuing out these instructions and these judgments. You cannot do that. And his father-in-law implored him to call the elders, call up the elders, and give the elders a responsibility. Make them rulers over tens. Make them rulers over 50s. Make them rulers over hundreds. And that's what Moses did, so as to not have all the people coming to him. His father-in-law says, if the elders cannot solve these minor problems, then let them come to you, and you be the overseer. You oversee everything, but you alone cannot do it. You have to distribute the work. And so that's how Moses started to distribute. That's how he started to distribute the work, the judgments, and the teachings. He started to have the elders in the community hear the people's concerns and address them at the local level before it would come to him. No understand why politics. No understand, so that's why politics is as it is. You got the mayor in your community, and you got the governor. You have different levels of representation of politics. That's exactly where it all came from. Okay, so I believe that Moses was determined. He wanted to be the only one, but he couldn't afterwards, because he realized that his father-in-law was telling him the truth and he was burning out himself. So here we have found that in the fast forward into the New Testament, and into the New Testament, when Jesus comes, the people are still upholding these teachings that Moses had given to their generations, these teachings that had been passed down to them. And so everything that Jesus said, they bring up something from Moses. Jesus said, unless your wife commit fornication, you cannot divorce her. The people then bring up and say, but Moses said, we can't divorce, we can't leave her for any reason. Just get a piece of paper of divorcement. Jesus said, well, me know, so Moses is telling us all. But it wasn't true. Right there, you got me asking, what else did Moses tell the people that was not true? And considering that everything Moses told the people, Moses said, God tell him so. So are you therefore telling me, say Moses did not tell the people them lie? So if Moses did not tell them lie on that instant, what else did I tell them lie about? People if you want to pork and eat it here. Now I say no, we are different. My view. Me not eat it, me never raised eating it, and me not think me need to eat it. But people who are eat them pork or whatever, that are the least. That would be to me the least of the things that would hinder you from any salvation, if there is. That is my view. Courtian, how are you doing? Courtian, it's been a hot minute. Courtian say, we were talking about the same thing on Sunday, that Moses cannot do it by himself. Of course. But he wanted to. He wanted to be the only authority there. for the people. What was he trying to safeguard? Yeah. And I said it before. Moses was a heck of a cult leader. He was. But anywho, oh, I am Kamte. Kamte. A long time I see you. How you been? Good to see you, my love. Happy today our Thursday. Happy Thursday morning to you. Me lost me headphone. I've lost my headphone. Me think me drop asleep with it in my ears. I know me don't know where it is. Sure. But anyway, let us continue. Yeah. So as I was saying, if Jesus can come and say something that Moses had said, I've taught the people was not true, was not right, I think there was a lot more that was not true, that was not right. See, even this sacrificing of animals day and night, morning, noon, and night. Remember, Moses said that God told him so. Moses said God told him that the people they must sacrifice. Day and night the people they must sacrifice. Goat and cow and sheep all day, all night. Like, you know, and even so the people never stopped to say, no, this not even look right. This not look right at all. Moses tell the people them, you cannot marry nobody who is not a descendant of Jacob. Who wouldn't look at something like that and say, come on now, something must be wrong here. You can't marry nobody who is not a descendant of Jacob. And if you marry anybody who is a descendant of Jacob, we throw you out of the congregation, throw you out of, you will no longer be called a descendant of Jacob. We are get rid of you. We're not only excommunicating you from the church, we're excommunicating you from your heritage. Just for you marrying somebody who was not a descendant of Jacob. And yet still he married to one whole Ethiopian. So with all these disparities that exist when it comes to the teachings of Moses, it leads me to want to say all these teachings of Moses were flawed. Because if Moses can't tell lie upon God one time, why won't tell lie upon God more times? Okay. I can't stand with some, you know. When some I can't deal with you, you know. I can't deal with you. When some say 25 minutes somebody have blah blah mouth, some to start the reading. You never hear this. Father God, you never hear this. But anyway, I not even realize there's so long with blah blah mouth, Sister Winsome. Thanks for the reminder. But anyway, guys, get your book Bible or your book Bible and come with me. Let us read together. We are on to the book of Mark chapter 6. Mark chapter 6 says, And he went out from thence, and came into his own country, and his disciples followed him. And when the Sabbath day was come, he began to teach in the synagogue. And many, hearing him, were astonished, saying, From whence hath this man these things? And what wisdom is this which is given unto him, that even such mighty works are wrought by his hands? Is not this the carpenter, the son of Mary, the brother of James, and Joseph, and of Judah, and Simon? And are not his sisters here with us? And they were offended at him. But here, people, then only knows, So Mary had 1, 2, 3. So Mary had 5 sons. Who didn't know that? I never know, to be honest, I don't know. I never know say Mary did have four sons. I always hear about Jesus and James. But I know say she did have one name, Joseph, Judah, and Simon. Uh-oh. Hold on, guys, let me like this. I did not know. Jesus' brothers were James, Joseph, that Joses, Judah, Juda, and Simon. Oh wow. Okay. So those of you who didn't know like myself, no. Let us continue. Let us continue. Need to know who his sisters are, but we don't know that. And they were offended at him. But Jesus said unto them, a prophet is not without honor, but in his own country, and among his own kin, and in his own house. And that is so true. Jesus told them, a prophet is not without honor, but in his country. So when he goes abroad, he will be healed, all glorious, almighty, but in his own land. You ever notice? The people here who are content creators, don't know how that go. Oh yeah? The people who you know from childhood, the people who with whom you have been familiar, the people to whom you are blood related, they will be the last one to support that little small business. Yet you will meet strangers that you have never met, people you have never seen in person, and they will lift you up and they will hail you up and they will support you from beginning to end. But the people you know will never give you honor. Yeah, I'm sure many of you have experienced that. But let us continue. Verse 5. And he could there do no mighty work, save that he laid his hands upon a few sick folk and healed them. And he marveled because of their unbelief. And he went round about the villages, teaching. And he called unto him the 12, and began to send them forth 2 by 2, and gave them power over unclean spirits, and commanded them that they should take nothing for their journey, save a staff only, no scrip, no bread, no money in their purse. But he shod with sandals, and not put on 2 coats. And he said unto them, in what place soever ye enter into a house, there abide till ye depart from that place. All right, so you see, this is the instruction Jesus is giving his disciples as he is sending them out into the villages to go do their door-to-door ministry. And he says, when they go out, don't take much with you. Don't take anything. Not take no script that you're gonna read from. Don't take your purse with any money. Don't take anything. Just go. And whichever house you stop, you're going to wherever you're going to stay, whoever house you are going to stay there. You stay there until I say so. You don't leave. And whosoever shall not receive you, not hear you, when ye depart thence, shake off the dust under your feet for a testimony against them. Verily, I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city. And they went out and they preached that men should repent. And they cast out many devils, and anointed with oil many that were sick, and healed them. And King Herod heard of him, for his name was spread abroad, and he said that John the Baptist has risen from the dead, and therefore mighty works do show forth themselves in him. Others said that it is Elias, and others said that it is a prophet, or as one of the prophets. And when Herod heard this, he said, "It is John, whom I beheaded. He is risen from the dead." Now, remember John the Baptist that Herod had beheaded John the Baptist. Mhm. So now when him hear of Jesus and all the healing wonders and powers that Jesus has come with, him say, "A John the Baptist." So clearly he was scared of John the Baptist. That's why he beheaded John the Baptist. For Herod himself had sent forth and had laid hold upon John and bound him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife, for he had married her. You all remember that we read about that story in the book of Matthew. For John had said unto Herod, "It is not lawful for thee to have thy brother's wife." Therefore Herodias had a quarrel against him, and would have unalived him. Me not just YouTube on this word here. But she could not, for Herod feared John, knowing that he was a just man. Oh, you see? Yes, he was afraid of John. Herod feared John, knowing that he was a just man and a holy man, and observed him. And when he heard him, he did many things, and heard him gladly. And when a convenient day was come, that Herod on his birthday made a supper to his lords. Verse 21 of chapter 6. And when a convenient day was come, that Herod on his birthday made a supper to his lords, high captains, and chief estates of Galilee. And when the daughter of the said Herodias came in and danced and pleased Herod and them that sat with him, the king said unto the damsel, "Ask of me whatever thou wilt, and I will give it to thee." Now y'all remember that? And the damsel asked him to silence John, and he did. Let us continue reading. And he sware unto her, "Whatsoever thou shalt ask me, I will give it to thee unto the half of my kingdom." And she went forth and said this to her mother, "What shall I ask?" And the mother said, "Ask him for the head of John the Baptist." Let us continue. Is not today mothers are orchestrating evil? Is not today. It's been a long time since mothers have been orchestrating evil. You remember Athaliah, the mother of Joash? You remember how she, after Joash was killed, she wanted to be queen of Israel. She wanted Israel to have a female queen. Well, she can have a male queen, but she wanted Israel to have Atalia wanted Israel to have a female king, if there's any such thing. She wanted to be the ruler. And what did she do? She ordered the death of all her grandsons. So now to the women evil. And here we see another example where Herodia is requesting that her daughter ask for the head of John the Baptist. Let us continue. Let us continue. Morning, everybody over on the top. Thank you all so much for coming. Everybody on the tube, welcome. Thank you for coming. And she came in straightway with haste unto the king and asked, saying, I will that thou give me by and by in the charger the head of John the Baptist. Wow. And the king was exceedingly sorry, yet for his oath's sake, and for their sakes which sat with him, he would not reject her. And immediately the king sent an executioner and commanded his head to be brought. And he went and beheaded him in the prison, and brought his head in the charger, and gave it to the damsel. And the damsel gave it to her mother. And when his disciples heard of it, they came and took up his corpse, and laid it in a tomb. And the apostles gathered themselves together unto Jesus, and told him what had happened to John the Baptist, both what they had done and what they had taught. And he said unto them, Come ye yourselves apart into a desert place, and rest a while. For there were many coming and going, and they had no leisure so much as to eat. And they departed into the desert place by ship privately. And the people saw them departing, and many knew him, and ran afoot thither out of all cities, and outwent them, and came together unto him. So Jesus was, him and his disciples decided they're gonna get in the ship, they're gonna go on the water so that they can find themselves a deserted place to go meet and maybe talk and regroup. And the people realized that that's what they were doing, because we noticed that that's what Jesus had been doing. When he wanted to get away from the people, wanted some peace and quiet, he would get in a boat so that he could move from one place to the next. But when he would get to the next place, there would be a throng of people again waiting for him. So while he was on the boat trying to get away from the people were watching to see where he was going. And on foot, they were chasing after him. Either way, he couldn't get away. But welcome to the live, guys. Thank you all so much for coming. Lord, this morning we start the live really late. This morning we should have did finish by now. But anyway, let us continue. We are on to the book of Mark chapter 6 and verse 37. Verse 35 rather. And when the day was not far spent, his disciples came unto him and said, This is a desert place, and now the time is far past. Hold on a second. I read this in my mind. I don't think I read it out loud. So I have to go back and read it. Verse 32. And they departed into a desert place by ship privately. And the people saw them departing. And many knew him, and ran afoot thither out of all cities, and outwent them, and came together unto him. And Jesus, when he came out, saw much people, and was moved with compassion towards them, because they were as sheep, not having a shepherd. And he began to teach them many things. And when the day was now far spent, his disciples came unto him and said, This is a desert place, and now the time is far past. Send them away, that they may go into the country round about, and into the villages, and buy themselves bread, for they have nothing to eat. He answered and said unto them, Give ye them to eat. And they said unto him, Shall we go and buy 200 pennyworth of bread, and give to them to eat? He said unto them, How many loaves do you have? Go and see. And when they knew, they said, We have 5 loaves and 2 fishes. And he commanded them to make all the people sit down by companies upon the green grass. And they sat down in ranks by hundreds and by 50s. And when he had taken the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes, he looked up to heaven and blessed it, and brake the loaves, and gave them to his disciples to set before them. And the 2 fishes divided he among them all. And they did all eat, and were filled. And they took up 12 baskets full of the fragments and of the fishes. And they that did eat of the loaves were about 5,000 men. And straightway he constrained his disciples to get into the ship, and to go to the other side before unto Bethsaida, while he sent away the people. And when he had sent them away, he departed into the mountain to pray. And when evening was come, the ship was in the midst of the sea, and he alone was on the dry land. Desireen, good morning, my dear sister. Bless up yourself. How are you doing? And he saw them toiling in rowing, for the wind was contrary unto them. And about the 4th watch of the night, he came unto them, walking upon the sea, and would have passed by them. But when they saw him walking upon the sea, they supposed it had been a spirit, and they cried out, for they all saw him, and were troubled. And immediately he talked with them, and said unto them, Be of good cheer, it is I, be not afraid. And he went up unto them into the ship, and the wind ceased, and they were sore amazed in themselves beyond measure, and wondered, for they considered not the miracle of the loaves, for their heart was hardened. So even the disciples, after Jesus shared this 5 loaves and 2 fish for 5,000 people, even after that, the disciples them still were in doubt about his abilities. Even so, they were in doubt. So if the disciples who are following him were in doubt, what say the poor people? He says here that they were still in doubt about him. They saw him walking on the water. They were in the middle of the sea in the boat, and he was in the mountain praying. And then he was walking on the water. He said he would have walked past them, but they saw him. I'm not sure why he would have walked past them, or he would have just appeared into the boat. But they saw him walking on the water. They con- for they considered not the miracle of the loaves, for their heart was hardened. And when they had passed over, they came into the land of Gennesaret and drew to the shore. And when they were come out of the ship, straightway they knew him, and ran through that whole region round about, and began to carry about in bed those that were sick, where, where they heard he was. And whithersoever he entered, into villages or cities or countries, they laid the sick in the streets, and besought him that they might touch of it, that they might touch of it were that they might touch, if it were but the border of his garment. And as many as touched him were made whole. How are you doing, Desiree? Good to see you, my love. Thanks for popping in. Thanks to everybody else who's here. I appreciate you guys. So here is the ending of Mark, I should say Mark chapter 6. And this is also an account that was given by Matthew about Jesus having fed the multitudes with the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes. And here we see Mark is giving his account of it as well, along with Jesus and the disciples as they went about preaching, healing, and teaching the people. We are going to move right along into Matthew chapter 7. So read along with me, guys. I keep saying Matthew, for crying out loud, Trev. It is Mark. We are on the book of Mark. Mark chapter 7. Then came together unto him the Pharisees and certain of the scribes, which came from Jerusalem. And when they saw some of his disciples eat bread with defiled, and when they saw some of his disciples eat bread with defiled, that is to say, with unwashed hands, they found fault. For the Pharisees and all the Jews, except they wash their hands off, eat not, holding the tradition of the elders. Okay, so they like eat without washing their hands. Alright, let's continue. And when they came from the market, except they wash, they ate not. And many other things there be, which they have received to hold, as the washing of cups and pots, brazen vessels, and of tables. So here you see it was a tradition amongst the Jewish people that, washing of their hands was an important part of their tradition. Washing off their hands prior to eating, washing off their hands prior to handling food, just by washing your hands. If you went out, said if you went to the market, you came home, you wash your hands before you started touching anything. But here they were seeing the disciples were eating with them bare hands, and they weren't washing their hands and find fault. But remember, these people are going to find fault with anything and everything, because it's not so much the disciples they want to find fault with, they want to find fault with Jesus. And I said, look at him. He's not instructed. He's not following the traditions that we have been following, that has been handed down to us from Moses by generation to generation to generation. He's not upholding those principles, because if he was upholding those principles, he would insist that the disciples wash their hands and all these other things. So they're gathering up counsel against him. because their existing beliefs are not in alignment with what Jesus is doing at this time, and them not like that. They don't like that at all. Let us continue. Verse 5. Then the Pharisees and scribes asked him, why walk not thy disciples according to the... Okay, you see the same thing I'm saying. Here it is, the same thing I'm saying. And I tell you, I didn't even read ahead. Then the Pharisees and scribes asked him, why walk not thy disciples according to the tradition of the elders, but eat bread with unwashed hands? He answered and said unto them, well, hath Isaiah prophesied of you hypocrites, as it is written, this people honors me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. All right, so you see Jesus setting them straight. You know, I worry about them people here now wash their hand. I ain't worried about them not washing their hand before they eat. Because them people here, them only saying them love me and honoring me with them mouths, but not with their hearts. So, as far as I'm concerned, them can do whatever they want to do. They can eat with them, they can even eat with their foot, with their dirty foot. Jesus was aware that even his disciples had doubts in him. Even though he was giving them all this power and all this authority to preach and teach and heal, he knew that deep down in their hearts they were not with him. He knew it. They had doubts about him. In their hearts, they were questioning everything that he was doing. In their hearts, they felt defeated. They felt as though somebody had come. This person who was here, even though he was doing all these miraculous things, they still felt like their positions in their community was being threatened by him. But let us continue. Jesus said to the Pharisees and the scribes, what about the people here? Because they honor me with their mouth, but not with their hearts. Their hearts are far from me. Howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. For laying aside the commandments of God, he owed the tradition of men, as the washing of pots and cups and many other such like things he do. And he said unto them, fully well, he reject the commandment of God, that he may keep your own tradition. For Moses said, listen, I'm telling you, it's always the comparison between what Moses had taught the people versus what Jesus is teaching them at this time. For Moses said, honor thy father and thy mother, and whosoever curseth his father or mother, let him die the death. But ye say, if a man shall say to his father or mother, it is Corban, that is to say, a gift, by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me, he shall be free. So now see, that's another comparison again they are making between the teachings of Moses and the teachings of Jesus. Moses says, honor your father and your mother, and whosoever curses whosoever curses father or his mother shall die the death. But the men, over the years, they have abandoned that teaching, and instead they are teaching the people that nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong with dishonoring your parents. Nothing wrong with that, as long as it profits you. you can dishonor your parents. Now, this brings me to, notice these modern days of recent, we are hearing a lot about children claiming to be emancipating themselves from them parents, children suing them parents, children calling the police on them parents when them parents discipline them. Today's society is swiftly embracing the dishonor of parents, the dishonor of parenting. A child nowadays can go to court and go tell the court, say, they no longer want to be in their parents' house. They no longer want to be under their parents' jurisdiction. They no longer want their parents to have charge over them and claim to be emancipating themselves. And the court will sign that document and stamp it into law and say to this child, you are emancipated from your parents. Them can't tell you what to do. You are a teenager, but you can move out and go live and do whatever, live as an adult and do whatever you want to do. You notice it? Well, I like the same thing in the Bible. The tradition of honoring their parents was given to them by Moses. But here now, over the years, that tradition has been watered down to include that these people, if you have to dishonor your parents to make some money, do it. Not now go do you. There will be no consequences. So parents get treated just like everybody else. Let us continue. We are going to read verse 10 again. For Moses said, honor thy father and thy mother, and whosoever curses his father or his mother, let him die the death. But ye say, but no, tell the people them say, if a man shall say to his father and mother, it is Korban, that is to say, a gift, by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me, he shall be free. And he suffer him no more to do what his mother and his father says, making the word of God of none effect through your tradition, which ye have delivered, and many such like things you all are doing. And when he had called all the people unto him, he said unto them, hearken unto me, every one of you, and understand this. There is nothing from outside of a man that entered into him that can defile him. But the things which come out of him, those are they that defile the man. All right. You know, see what more saying? This right here justifies what I was saying when I say to you all that I think that if you don't want to eat on a pork, you don't eat on a pork. I don't think the eating of your pork is going to stop you from getting any blessing where you are going to get. Here, Jesus said it again. Is not what you put in your body. Remember, he had said that is just food. It comes out in the draught anyway. You are going to poop it out. That's what he mean when he say come out in the draught. You are going to poop it out. Is food. But it is what come out of your heart. Because you see, what comes out of your heart, out of your mouth, is what is conceived in your thoughts, in your mind. And that is the part of you that is supposed to remain incorruptible. But if that part of you, your core being, is corrupted, what else can corrupt you? Little food where you eat, little pork, little whatever else you eat, cannot corrupt your soul. It cannot corrupt your inner core. It It can't. What corrupts your inner core are the thoughts that you entertain, the thoughts that you act upon, the hatred that you feed that turns into action. Those are the things that corrupt you, not what you eat. So here it is again in the book of Mark. There is nothing from outside of a man that enters into him that can defile him. Nothing. And I mean, says the Bible. But the things which come out of him, those are the things that defile a man. Your actions, whatever come out of your mouth, yeah, those are the things that defile you. If any man have ears to hear, let him hear. And when he was entered into the house from the people, his disciples asked him concerning the parable. And he said unto them, you are so stupid? Are you also without understanding? Do you not perceive that whatsoever thing from outside that enters into the man, it cannot defile him? Because it enters not into his heart, but into his belly, and goes out into the draught, purging all meats. All right, and here, watch, I not even did read the Bible. I not even did read to here, so. But here I come upon exactly what I was saying a minute or two ago. Let us read it again. So the men started asking Jesus about, the possibility of eating whatever they're eating to defile them. And Jesus said, well, I don't know. I'm not understanding. I don't hear me say, what you eat cannot defile you because it come out in the draught anyway. That's not what defile you. He said unto them, are you without understanding? Do you not perceive that whatsoever thing from outside of a man that goes into him cannot defile him, because it enters not into his heart, but into the belly, and goes out into the draught, purging all meats? And he said, that which comes out of the man, that defiles the man. For from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, murders, thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, evil eye, blasphemy, pride, and many more foolishness. All these evil things come from within, and those are what defiles the man. You don't need to hear it more than that. I don't think you need to hear it more than that. Verse 24, and from thence he arose. He said, all these evil things come from within, and these are the things that defile the man. And from thence he arose, and went into the borders of Tyre and Sidon, and entered into a house, and would have no man know it, but he could not be hidden. He didn't want anybody to know he was going in this house, but he couldn't hide. He couldn't hide. For a certain woman, whose young daughter had an unclean spirit, heard of him, and came and fell at his feet. The woman was a Greek woman, a Syrophoenician by nation. Okay, the woman of Cyrene, as I saw it go. Syrophoenician by nation. And she besought him that he would cast forth the devil out of her daughter. But Jesus said unto her, let the children first be filled, for it is not meet to take the children's bread and to cast it unto the dogs. Hold up there. Jesus come back with this thing again. Let us read that again. Remember in the book of Matthew, Matthew said the Canaanite woman came to Jesus to heal her daughter. That was Matthew's version. And Jesus was basically ignoring the woman. And the disciples told him, listen, this woman wants to see you badly. She said her daughter's sick and she wants you to help her. And Jesus said, it's not good to take the children's food and give to the dog. You know, remember? And the woman said, Master, even the crumbs off of your table may we eat. May we eat the crumbs on the floor. If you would only heal my daughter. And Jesus said, woman, because of your faith in me, I will heal your daughter. So here Mark is given, I believe this to be the same story, but Mark's version is a little bit altered from Matthew's version. But let us continue, verse 27. But Jesus said unto her, let the children first be filled, for it is not meet to take the children's bread and to cast it unto the dogs. Now, you notice that this is a different presentation of the same story. You notice? Verse 28. And she answered and said unto him, Less, Lord, yet the dogs under the table eat of the children's crumbs. The story kind of a little different from the way Matthew told it. And he said unto her, For this saying go thy way, the evil is gone out of your daughter. And me I go read that again, guys. Hold on there. Me I go read that again from verse 25 of Matthew chapter 27. For a certain woman whose young daughter had an unclean spirit heard of him and came and fell at his feet. The woman was a Greek, a Syrophoenician by nation. Remember, Matthew said the woman was a Canaanite woman. And she besought him that he would cast forth the devils out of her daughter. But Jesus said unto her, Let the children first be filled, for it is not meet to take the children's bread and to cast it unto the dogs. Okay. So the woman asked him to heal her daughter and tell her, hold up there. Let me take care of them children here first. I don't think when he said children, he meant little human beings. I think when he said children, he meant the people who were following him already. Because remember, the people who were in the street waiting for him to heal their sick. These were people from all over. And he was healing their sick. I didn't see anything here that said that at this point he was stopping to ask them whether or not they were Jews before he healed them. I didn't read where it said that at this point, but considering that, on second thoughts, considering that the story that Mark presented and the story that Matthew presented were basically the same story with just a little bit of a variation in both accounts. It could be that he was still sifting amongst the people and tending to the Jewish people first before he tended to the strangers. And this woman would have been considered a stranger. And he said to her, "It is not meet to take the children's bread and cast it to the dogs." And she answered and said unto him, "Yes, Lord, yet the dogs under the table eat of the children's crumbs." And he said unto her, "For this saying, go thy way, the devil is gone out of thy daughter." So basically, are the same thing as Matthew said. And when she was come to her house, she found the devil gone out, and her daughter laid upon the bed. And again, departing from the coast of Tyre and Sidon, he came unto the sea of Galilee, through the midst of the coast of Decapolis. And they bring unto him one that was deaf, and had an impediment in his speech. And they beseech him to put his hand upon him. And he took him aside from the multitude, and put his fingers into his ears. And he spit, and touched his tongue. And looking up to heaven, he sighed, and said unto him, Ephphatha, that is, be opened. Let's read that again, verse 34. And looking up to heaven, he sighed, and said unto him, Ephphatha, that is, be opened. And straightway his ears were opened, and the string of his tongue was loosed, and he spoke plain. And he charged them that they should tell no man. Now, Jesus really keep on a charge the people, tell them, don't tell nobody. I know so the people them can't keep their mouth. And he charged them that they should tell no man. But the more he charged them, the more great deal they published it. These people, Dr. Dre, bless up yourself, my brother. These people cannot keep their mouth for nothing. Remember when Jesus met the blind man for see, and him spitting at the dirt and rub it up and rub up the dirt with the spit and rub it on the man's eye. Don't tell nobody. Not tell nobody. The man still go tell everybody. When he cast out the demons out of the man, tell him not tell nobody. When you're going at the city, don't tell nobody. It better time they tell them to go tell. Because people, there's not one person yet that he has healed and told them not to tell, who has not gone out and told the entire world what happened, my Lord. Verse 36 says, and he charged them that they should tell no man. But the more he charged them, the more of a great deal they published it. Verse 37, and were beyond measure astonished, saying, He hath done all things well. He maketh both the deaf to hear and the dumb to speak. Here ends the reading of Mark. Jesus, I keep saying Matthew, what's wrong with me? Of the book of Mark, chapters 6 and 7. Interesting read right there, my friends. Who else has come in? Who else is here in the live? Thank you so much, Dr. Dre. I sincerely appreciate you. And the others in the chat. Tarsha Green, Free of Life, and Diana Moody. Diana Moody, them not find your family member, them were buried on at St. Elizabeth yet. Welcome into the live, guys. Thank you so much. Andrea, good morning, Andrea. How are you doing, my love? Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome. Yes, guys. So we have just finished reading the account of Mark, an account of Jesus's presence on earth, as it is said. And this account here by Mark is somewhat similar to the account of Matthew as it pertains to the woman who asked Jesus to remove the unclean spirit out of her daughter, and the reference to the reference by Jesus to say it is not right to give the children's food to the dog. I believe this is the very same situation that was written about in the book of Matthew. It's the same. The only difference I see here is that in the book of Matthew, Matthew said the woman was Canaanite, and Mark says the woman was Greek. I don't think it really matters, the nationality of the woman, because it could be that the woman was mixed. Not true. And just like how you could probably look at a person who is a light-skinned black person, and you might say, oh, the person was Hispanic, when really the person maybe identify as black. You never know. I don't think that has too much significance. I think the significance that is there is that the woman was not a Jew. So the lesson is the same, regardless of the nationality of the woman. It would only be different if the woman was a Jew. And if the woman was a Jew, Jesus would not have said that to her. He would not have said anything about casting the food to the dogs if the woman was a Jewish woman. But anyway, that's where we are going to end the reading for this morning. Once again, guys, we are inching closer and closer, one chapter, one verse, one book at a time, to the end of the reading of the King James Version of the Bible. And when we are done with this, guys, we have some other books that we must go over. Somebody said the other day, somebody suggested that we need to read the book of Enoch. But they said the book of Enoch is similar to the book of Revelation, where there's a lot of damnation and a lot of Michibu, my sister, how are you doing, my love? Good morning to you. Happy Thursday to you, my love. Yeah, so the somebody suggested the other morning that we read the book of Enoch, and they said that the book of Enoch is similar to the book of Revelation, where there is a lot of damnation, a lot of expected catastrophe. Somebody just gave me a heart. Oh, what's the name? Hansart. Thank you, Michibu. Thank you for that. Hansart, them call it. Thank you so much, my love. I appreciate it. And for those of you on the tube who are not aware of what we're going on, we are double streaming, so we're on the tube and the talk. Okay? Thank you so much, my love. Yes. So as I was saying, what did I say again? Me get the hand art and me totally forget. I totally forget what did I say. What did I say again? Oh wow. That girl. Good morning, that girl. How are you doing, my love? Good to see you. Thank you so much for popping in. Thanks for the love. And then people, all this time, I want all over now, me the year attack, I don't know. I really only have me at 715. Me Jesus. Rise and shine. No problem. You are welcome. You are welcome, my love. All right, so let's talk about the book of Enoch. All right, thank you, God, Jesus. God, you know, say I'm a brain outside of my head. So we were talking about the book of Enoch that somebody had suggested a few days ago in the live. Somebody said that we should read the book of Enoch, and they said the book of Enoch is similar to the book of Revelation, where there's a lot of damnation and a lot of fierce, profound prophecies that they claim that Enoch speaks about. And I can feel my anticipation building up, like it is building up for the reading of the Revelation, because historically we have been taught that the book of Revelation, once you read the book of Revelation, it it some people say it's supposed to humble you. I think it humble. I think it scares the daylight of people. And if they say the book of Enoch is scarier than the book of Revelation, I can't wait to read it. Also, I gotta read the book of Nathan. I gotta read out aloud the book of Nathan. There are several other books that are spoken about in the Kings and in the Chronicles that I need to get a hold of. Many of them are published online, that I can download in a PDF and read, because many of them are interpreted. They reinterpreted. They were originally written in Hebrew or in Greek or one of those ancient languages. Yeah, but they are interpreted in modern English online. So yeah. So yes, guys, that's what we are going to be doing. So I want to say thanks to everybody who has come in. When we come back tomorrow, we will continue the reading of the book of Mark. We will be reading Mark chapters 8 and 9 when we come back tomorrow. Same. This morning I read Mark chapters 6 and 7. Yeah. We read Mark chapter 6 and 7 this morning. Tomorrow we will read 8 and 9. Tomorrow morning, same time, same place, my friends. So once again, I want to say thanks to everybody who came into the live. Thank you, Michibu, my dear gifter this morning. And those who hit the like button, I appreciate you. Those of you on the tube, don't forget to hit the like button when you come onto this stream. It is only polite. It is like washing your hands before you eat. And the takeaway from each time I say I'm going to leave, I have something else to say. The takeaway from this morning's reading for me, my friend, is it is not what you eat that defiles you. And it is said here plain and straight. It is not what you eat that defiles you. Cooking with Paul. Paul, what you cook today? But what comes out of your heart? What comes out of your mind? What comes out of your mouth? What actions you take? The covetousness, the hate, murder, the lying, the deceit, all those things. Those are the things that defile you. And those are the things that will be used to judge you. Not the piece of oxtail where you eat. Not the piece of hog foot. That's what they call it, hog chutters, what they call it, where you eat. Not the piece of lobster tail where you eat. Even if you eat jankro, that's not what is going to defile you. What is going to defile you is the lie when you tell by your sister, is the money where you thief from your mother, That is what's going to defile you. Eh? Is the man where you keep with your husband? Is the woman where you keep with your wife? Yeah, those are the things that will defile you, but not anything where you eat. Because where you eat, I will come out in your excrement anyway. So that cannot defile you. Is the Bible says so, and not me. So when you repeat it, I want to tell them myself, go read the book of Mark. Read Mark chapter 7. Paul say, can you put toothpaste back in the tube? Just saying. Then if you want to put toothpaste back in a tube, of course, yes. Of course, yes. You can put toothpaste back in the tube. Where is it? Michibu. if same like how toothpaste going to the tube in the first place, you can put it back. Cut the bottom of the tube, put the toothpaste in it, and use some heat, one crimping iron, and seal back the bottom of the tube. Voila, you're done. Listen, where's the Michibu so weird, do not pork and shrimp? Where you mean? Say that again. Say if you figure eat pork and shrimp, you know people that can't eat whatever they want. Paul said, trying it no. Listen. After I have read this Bible here for myself, there are some things that I will and I can no longer hold to be true. See, even Jesus tell it, the people them hold it just as how you see a lot of people are holding other people's feet to the fire. They are like just trying to hold people hostage by saying, but the Bible said, you're not to do this and you're not to do that. The Bible says you're not to eat pork. Yes, the Bible says you're not to eat pork. But you see, what is the good thing about reading the Bible in its entirety rather than just reading it in snippets? There is a big difference. If you just read around there so in the book of Exodus, Leviticus, and read what Moses told the people, including that they should not eat the pork and they should not eat other things that he said they should not eat because it defiled them. Remember Moses saying, no, it defiled them. It's not like don't eat it because it is poisonous, it will kill you. Him say it defiles you. So that means that defilement means that it distances you from God by eating it. It distances you from God. It defiles you. There's a difference between just eating something that's going to poison you and eating something that's going to defile you. Somebody says, the Bible says, bless and eat. We no longer Moses' law. Jazzy. Welcome into the live, Jazzy. Welcome into the live. I appreciate that contribution to the live. Yes. So as I am saying, when Moses told the people not to eat these things, Moses said it will defile them. The people are afraid of defilement because if you are defiled, it means their God going to turn his back on them. It means that their God is going to abandon them. They don't want that. So anything when Moses tell them to do or not to do to save them from the wrath of their God, they were doing. They were doing. God said we didn't get there yet. We didn't get there yet. Well, I am there. So So the people were so scared of this defilement that they would do whatever Moses said they should do. As we are reading, though, in the New Testament, we see where the people are holding Jesus to Moses' standards. And Jesus is saying to them, I know Moses told you this, but 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 it is not true. So that means that Moses was telling the people them some lies. Because if we are to believe that God no make no mistake, God not tell no lie, anything him did tell Moses was true, even though we don't know. So God tell Moses these things. Moses says so. Nobody never hear it. Moses said it. But when Jesus said, I had only wanted to hear it one time. Where Jesus said, when Moses tell you no was a lie. And I have heard it more than once. Where Jesus tell the people that what Moses taught them was not so. You want more than that? No, he say, is not what you eat. What you eat cannot defile you. Somebody says, we live under the law no more. We under grace. Do we still make blood sacrifice? All right. No, we don't. And remember, under Moses, the people them morning, noon, and night, the people them were slaughtering cow and goat and sheep. Morning, noon, and night. So much so the people believed that even Job, on his sick bed, Job was ordering animals to be sacrificed for his children's death of sin. Even on his deathbed. That's how much Job believed in what Moses had taught them about sacrificing, this animal sacrificing. And Job believed it so much to the extent that even while he was on his sick bed, he was ordering his animals. Every day, he was ordering his animal sacrifice for himself and his children. So now, here comes Jesus telling the people them what Moses was telling no, it wasn't all true. So when Jesus say to them, why you eat not defile you? People, before I leave off this morning, if you don't want to eat on a pork, eat on a pork. That is the last thing. Those of you who believe, sir, there is a heaven where not go. If at the pork you not go eat, you not go think, sir, it's going to stop you from going. Think again. It says, what does somebody say? That's somebody, whoever you be, Jazzy, don't rub me the wrong way this morning. You hear me I preach nothing? You hear me I preach nothing? Don't come rub me the wrong way this morning, boy. You are a 70-year. What? Man. Let me read the Bible. What the Bible just said to do? Wash your hand before you eat. Alright, let me wash my mouth before me respond. Let me wash my mouth before me respond. Because clearly you're not listening. You are one of them what the Bible talk about. You have ears but you don't hear. You have ears but you not listen. And you just hurry up and listen. Yeah, you hurry up to give a response, but you not hurry to listen. Listen. Right, Paul? Let me wash my mouth before me give a response. As Jesus tell the people them, the Pharisees them, the Pharisees them hold Jesus to it and say, what in the world? Why you not make the disciples them? Why aren't you insisting that the disciple them wash their hand before they eat? Because, because because as our forefathers taught us, coming from Moses, you must wash your hand before you eat, wash the pots and the plates and everything before you eat. And here, that's not important to Jesus. That's wanna just eat. I mean, like, what's the big deal? And this is what they were holding Jesus' feet to the fire about. So the disciples them weren't washing their hands. Jesus said, you are worried. That's why you are worried about. Them people are only love me with their lips. They will say they love me, but they don't love me with their heart. So in that instant, they can do, they can do just about. Them can do just about anything because they love me with their lips. One mouthful of love, but one heart that is empty. Sir. But anyway, guys, the time has come. The time has come for me to hop off the live this morning. I really wanted to be here a little bit longer, but I can't. Time will not allow me, and my other responsibilities will not allow me. So I want to say welcome to the people who come in the chat, the people who share the live, the people who contributed to the chat, regardless of whatever. No, sir, me no work outside of the home today. I work today, but not outside of the home. Yeah. Yeah. You can't tell me to go wash my mouth. Yes, me I go wash my mouth. And Michibu, bless up yourself. Michibu, Card, Paul. Who else was here? Jazzy. And who else was here? Winsome, Andrea, Desreen. Did I see Ira this morning? I don't remember, but I saw Cortian was here as well. And several other people. Guys, we can't possibly remember the names of everybody. But as much as the controversies tickles me some and rubs me the wrong way some, I mean, I mind it because it's what add flair and character to the live. But so with that, I'm going to say, have yourselves a great day, guys. All right? Go eat some pork, just not eat no jankro. And we will be back tomorrow as we continue to read the Bible from the beginning to the end. All right? Listen, you're going to have to pay me if you want me to stay. If you want me to stay. I want me to. Where's some if you do? Maybe stay till 8 o'clock. You're paid already. Your debt is paid. Hold on. Who this want to be a guest? Who this? Me not see a who. Let me see a who. Somebody want to be one guest. I bet I'm a chick. She want to hold me here, you know. How me know? How me know? All right. You got 10 minutes, sis. You got 10 minutes. Good morning, ma'am. How many? Yes, I'm hearing you, love. How are you?
Yes. I don't think because she just got into the conversation. So please pause.
Oh.
Hey,
the party. She has already been party.
After 4 o'clock. I was up after 4 o'clock, ma'am.
Yes, last night I went to bed really late. I went to bed like 3 o'clock this morning.
Ma'am, I was saying me.
Oh, you.
I'm gonna look for you. I'm gonna see you.
Yes, that's why. Because I went to bed at 3. So that's why I wasn't reading at 4. Exactly. Oh. Oh, made up one night getting all kinds of things together. Because yesterday we run off of the live early because I had to go on the street and I was on the street until after 9.
Well, on a more serious level, I
Yes,
truly appreciate your readings of the Bible.
you're
And as
welcome,
you stated
darling.
before, you're not trying to advise anyone which faith to go
No,
by.
sister, never.
Reading the Bible so that we all can get some type of understanding and in
Mm-hmm.
context of what's being said. And I always enjoy when you speak and explain in detail because, yes, it is true. A lot of us don't like to read, right?
That's so true. That is
And
so
it's kind of
true.
hard sometimes for us to comprehend. So I just want to say thank you for doing so. And I just wish I could just catch the time right when it starts. But I'll catch you on YouTube. Yeah, she's not sleeping at all. I know, God. Yeah, she was out doing stuff, God.
Yes, I was doing stuff, doing stuff. Not stuff doing
Uh-huh.
me. Behave yourself, behave yourself.
Shake it. I will catch you. So what is the official?
Listen, I wish I had an official time. That is my biggest drawback. An official time. Because when I have stuff to do, I go crazy. I am doing and doing and doing and doing. I got a lot of things to get done before tomorrow morning. And so I've been working on those things. And then I have also this obligation to come here in the mornings to read the Bible. So I say it's between 4 and 6 o'clock I start the reading, especially when I do not work the night before. When I work the night before, I usually don't even bother to come because by the time I leave work 8 o'clock in the morning, yeah, sun come up. Yeah, me have other things to do. Me not have time to read the Bible that time.
Yes.
Yeah. The bed make for man, not man for the bed. That's why. That's why I've abandoned the bed. Right, Andrea? Thank you so much, Andrea. I just said I appreciate you and we appreciate your time. I appreciate you, sis. Lots of love. Yeah. Lots of love, Sister Andrea. Lots of love. Kieran King, bless up yourself and little brown eyes.
I'll
Yes.
catch you around.
You are, thank you so much, my love. You are welcome. Have yourself a blessed day. Alrighty. Okay, guys. That was our dear sister Michibu. Michibu is simply the best. Thank you so much, my love. Have a great day. Yes, guys. So with
I'll
that,
catch you around.
okay, sugar. Yeah.
You
So
too, my love.
yeah. So with that, we are going to close off the live, guys. We will come back here tomorrow morning at around the same time, a little bit earlier. Yeah, maybe. Let me not say, but same time, same place tomorrow morning. We will be here on the talk and on the tube as we continue to read the Bible, exchange our thoughts, and try to understand it per the context in which it is written. Um, I don't even want to get into all this context because if I start talking about it, it's gonna take us way over 8 o'clock, and I don't want that. You know, it, the reading of the Bible has brought me so much enlightenment. Let me tell you all, it has brought me so much enlightenment. It's unbelievable, because the way I was indoctrinated and socialized into believing um, particular parts of the Bible and in the understanding of particular text of the Bible, I can only see we the best, somebody that gonna leave. I'm saying I'll leave till you come. Mijimu, remember, I was socialized and indoctrinated into a particular denomination. I was I was socialized and indoctrinated into a particular denomination, and you couldn't tell me nothing. Me not have Bible scripture for quote and back it up, but I was so steadfast in my belief based on what I was told to believe. And there is a stark difference between being told what to believe and believing because of what you have discovered for yourself. And I say the latter should be the way forward rather than the former. You shouldn't sit down and make people tell you what to believe. No, that's a form of control. That is where the indoctrination comes in, where people tell you that you must believe so and so, and then they use the Bible to back up what they think you should believe. But when you read the Bible for yourself and you get the context and you get into the conversation and you say, oh, who was this speaking? Okay, who was he speaking to? What were the circumstances under which these utterances were made? And you can read it for yourself and see it gives you a whole different perspective as to what is believable and what is not. And by the way, I'm going to leave you with a question here. Who said, and this Bible are we supposed to follow? I'm going to leave that question there wide open right now until we come back another day. Who said other Bible here we're supposed to read and follow? No, a Jew? All the Jew them here, hold up on your hand. Okay. So with that being said, I want you all, Andrea, I want you all to have yourselves a great day. Think for yourselves. Let no man direct your thinking, because when a man can direct your thinking, he has you hook, line, and sinker under his control. When him can tell you that the sky is blue, and when you go out there, you know, see a blue sky, but you are forced to believe there is a blue sky because of the individual who told you there is a blue sky, you need to realize that there is a problem. Think for yourselves. Use the mind that you got for yourself, and don't make other people use your mind for you. The era Jesus says in Mark, him said the people them sit down like sheep without a shepherd, waiting for him to come. It was the same thing Micaiah said. Remember when Micaiah in the book of Kings, remember Micaiah the prophet? When Ahaz asked him if he must go to war with Syria, he said, I see the children of Israel on the top of the mountains of Israel, like sheep without a shepherd. If you go to that war, Ahaz went to that war and him come back in a body bag. Yes. Andrea said, think before you answer. Are you sure? All right. Exactly, Andrea. Exactly. So with that, I leave you all this morning to think about it. I will see you all. Patrick, I will see you all in the morning. Same time, same place. And there you got it, Michigo. There is your 8 o'clock. Have yourselves a great day, guys. Love you all. And see you all in the morning. All right? Go ahead, guys, and be good. Be blessed. Love each other and love yourselves. Until next time, this is Trev from Trevessence, where your journey matters. Have yourselves a great day, everybody.